Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Combat Entertainment Selection Show. We will talk and discuss the 24 men who are in the combat season. I am Danny Danger. My co-host, as always, Mika Villas. We are Wrestling's cutest commentary team, calling the action for you here at Combat Entertainment all season long. Also, the Supreme Leader Blacklist, Uno, is joining us as he has made the selections of the 24 men who will be in combat season. The Ministry of Propaganda, as he's been awarded, is Josh Wheeler is here with us as well. I believe he has the 24 men who will be in the Combat Entertainment series. So, and several of the people we're trying to show out and show off their skills and try to earn. Your favorite ultimately to earn their way into the combat series. Who are the 24?
So I'm going to go ahead and right off the rip, we know that Chris Crunk is in the tournament. So we'll just go ahead and put that out there. Chris Crunk is definitely in combat season. He earned that opportunity way back in the old Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment days.
I mean, it was before this was the Combat Entertainment.
Right.
Before we talked about that, he was number one. When it was the To Be the Man tournament.
Right.
He earned his spot by defeating Teddy King.
And still, if you want to get technical, it's still To Be the Man herself and selected him. Yeah, two-finger salute. Joe Black has been invited to the tournament.
Well, I mean, and arguably so. I mean, he remained unbeaten for 2+ years. I mean, he was the second to last. I mean, the Georgia Wrestling Crown champion, an outstanding competitor. I mean, honestly, I've never been a fan of the hierarchy and their tactics, but I've always been a fan of Joe Black and what he can do in that.
You just say things like that with your boss sitting around?
Yeah.
We're just gonna go focus again that Joe is one heck of a competitor. The fact that he's in this tournament, he has no qualms about fighting from the bottom to the top. Affiliations aside, he had an excellent showing against Huckabee. He had an excellent showing in the losing battle against ACH. The fact that he will not get a rematch, that he has to now fight for this title, does give him, I think, a more motivation than most in this tournament.
Well, speaking of Joe Black, we do have a very special combat exhibition matchup. We're going to send it to you right now. You guys call the action. It's Joe Black, William Huckabee, right now.
Let's meet the combatants. Standing to my left, right next to me, he is a former Georgia Wrestling Crown champion. But that's it. Today he is the killer. He is a member of the hierarchy. This is Joseph Black. And his opponents, he is the last ever Georgia Heritage Champion of Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. Tonight, he is a fighter. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Incredible Huck. This is William Huckabee. This matchup will be a 15-minute time limit of combat. Max, break on. Are you ready?
Ring the bell, let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. This is Combat Entertainment. I am Danny Danger. With me, as always, Mika Villas. We are Wrestling's cutest commentary team. In our combat matchup here, we have Joe Black and William Huckabee. No love lost here between these men.
These two certainly know one another. At one time, they were tag team, the Sound and the Fury. Right now,
that was quite some time ago, though. This team has been separate for well over 2 years now. And the hatred between these men, I think, in the old Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, they were kept apart for quite some time. Joe said he didn't want to fight Huck. He was done. He had passed on. But this is a different era. This is Combat Entertainment, and you bring in some of the baddest men in the country to fight it out in combat.
these two are definitely well familiar with each other, but let's talk about combat. Let's talk about, if you're watching this, you saw the closed fist. That is part of combat. That is
closed
not
fists are 100% legal. I mean, the matches will go end in pinfall, submission, or referee stoppage. You know, I mean, there are no. I mean, Joe is taking it to the bigger man. I mean, this as former tag team partners, longtime rivals, they know each other so well, and they know each other's strengths and weaknesses.
And Joe's got to know that arm of Huckabee, that is a sore spot there. He's grabbing that arm, trying to bar it there,
He's trying to put him into a triangle choke, and he's throwing those elbows right to the face. But But the power of Huck coming into play as he's got it defended the best he can. Now he's trying to lift him up with one arm.
Look at that strength on Huckabee there, just lifting Joe up. Joe is not. Look at this.
He tried to push him in, break it up. They're in the ropes.
Okay.
There is a taste of the combat rules there, as that was an immediate break. There was no 5 count. The referee stands in to break the men and separate them.
And look at this. There's the first pinfall.
2 count only after the big knee by Black. And that, well, Black's throwing his mouthpiece up here.
That's how you know it's serious.
I mean, as we talk, there is no love lost between these men. They have known each other for years. They grew up together in the business, and they were a tag team for many years, a very successful tag team, but they were forced to split here in Atlanta.
Wow, Huck just drilled Joe there.
Right on his face with that DDT.
Referee checking on him, but these two, again, going at it.
Neither of these guys are going to stand down. There's not only the hatred between each other, but there's such big pride that both men want to be the winner of the first match here under combat rules in Combat Entertainment. I mean, anything here, everything is allowed within the 4 ropes, within the 4 corners. Excuse me. There is combat is restricted, but the referee has the final say.
Look at these strikes, though. Huckabee is well over 250, 280 coming in, his full body weight. These strikes.
And trash talking as they were the sound and the fury, as I like to say.
Wow.
Huck was always the sound, and Joe was the silent fury.
Right.
Huck likes to beat your ass and tell you about it as he's doing it. He is a master of trash talking, where Joe is the silent killer. And he proved that in his time with the hierarchy.
Look at this killer.
There's a stomp right to the face. Kick right to the base of the spine. Big time senton going for the cover. Hooks the leg deep and the other leg.
Wow.
Wow, it's only a 2 count
Kick out with a scream with a no.
I mean
that flurry of offense from Joe Black there, giving Huckabee everything he can handle, and back to that.
Now back to a submission, back to that arm, knowing, joint manipulation can be the enemy of the bigger, stronger man. I mean, you're a bigger, more powerful guy.
Take a look at Joe. Joe's got those fingers there, pulling him apart.
Well, Huck's trying to grab and hold on to those hands to stop the torque on the elbow. And he's able to roll over and alleviate some of the pressure there on his elbow and his wrist. But
referee Max Recon right there.
I mean, it's only a 2 count, though, as Joe realized his shoulders were down.
Huckabee was able to switch his body weight to get on top of Joe for a pinning predicament there. And Joe just having to let go of that hold in order to kick out of that. But again, these two, look at this.
I mean,
this
there is anger, there is pride, there's
malice.
A lot of years of pent-up aggression against one another. I mean, they're just challenging each other. They're willing to stand there and take shots in order to prove to the other that they can take his best shot and come back and fire again. Big time spine buster by Huck.
Oh gosh.
Huck loves the spine buster. Longtime fan of Arn Anderson, and drills it just about as good as anybody in our industry today.
And there's a cover.
He took a little while to get to the cover, though, and only a 2 count. I think the strikes back and forth thus far have taken a lot out of Huck, and it took him a little while to get to that pin. I mean, that could have been the deciding factor in getting a 2 count or a 3 count.
Again, here in combat, these two are able to stand and trade blows, closed fists, which, of course, with both of these guys being powerful, have got to hurt even more than usual.
I mean, they are both, amazing strikers. I mean, Huck with just his size and his power, but Joe proved that within.
Good God! Did you hear that?
Within his reign as GWC champion.
Did you hear that?
And he's shaking it off. I mean, the sound of that strike to the side of his jaw, and he's just There's just closed fist to the side of the jaw.
Just the
100% legal here in combat.
But the crack of skin on skin and Joe's
bone
jaw.
on bone.
But Joe was standing
Joe's just
at
throwing
still.
lariats now. There's a headbutt by Huck.
Okay.
Buckles the knees of Joe Black.
Referee in there checking on the
checking.
combatant.
I mean, one of the ways these matches can end is by referee stoppage. If the referee feels that you cannot continue the match, he can stop. He looks to think that he thinks that Black still has enough in, and he's going to let it continue. Max Recon being named the senior official here in Combat Entertainment.
The senior official, of course, would use his discretion to stop this, but look at this. Oh, Joe.
Just falling for Huck's biggest shots.
Asking for him.
After losing the GWC, what does he have left? I mean, all he has left is combat.
Look at that.
He would rather die on his shield than
There we go.
use it as defense.
Once again, he's going for that triangle.
He's trying, and Huck's doing the right thing. He's trying to use his power to power out of it. But he still didn't break it. Black still got the hold on.
He still held on.
After the power on, well, Huck's
And again,
trying for another one.
He's still holding on.
Black
has not let go.
He's still got the wrist. He's still trying for the triangle.
Another one. This will be the third time. If he gets him up.
He couldn't get it. He couldn't get it.
Ring. Wow.
Your winner by referee stoppage, Joe Black.
Physical contest between two of the best in the state, if not the southeast and the country, depending on depending on who you talk to. I mean,
I would dare say the world, since we're, you know.
I'm agreeing with the supreme leader.
Combat
Not
World
because he's the boss, but just because again.
I mean, Huck is amazing, and Joe. I mean, the long short history between them. I mean, we've talked about that, you know, time and time again. Outstanding battle between the two of them. Joe Black victorious. With referee stoppage under combat rules. Who else do we have? I mean, we know that Joe Black has earned his way into the combat.
Joe is in, Chris Crocker is in, William Huckabee is in.
William Huckabee is also
William Huckabee will be in the tournament based on the fact that he is the final Georgia Heritage champion. But the title that he still has, you've not really discussed this. What happens to those old AWE titles?
You know,
They go to the pawn shop? I mean, what happens with them?
These are things that we're not going to talk about on the show right now.
Okay.
Because the focus
Is on the tournament.
and the
Combat
Grand
season.
World
Yes.
Championship.
I got you.
All right. Huckabee's title, we can push that to the side right now. You already know the deal with the tag team titles.
Okay. Well, speaking of champions, I know that you were very excited about this matchup that we had. He is in the tournament. Saeed El Sabbagh, the Fest champion, will be in combat season.
I mean, Saeed is an outstanding competitor. I mean, within only a handful of appearances at Fest Wrestling, he earned his way into championship contention and is now the Fest champion. You know, I mean, had excellent showing here. You know, at Combat Entertainment. I mean, let's take it to that match now as he defends the Fest Wrestling Championship. You know, albeit a wrestling championship, this is the preseason. He defends it against Treehouse League.
But before we cut, you do notice that even though he defended his title on a Combat Entertainment show, a wrestling title, it was contested under my rules.
It is absolutely this match.
Warning to all promoters, if you send your champion this way, my way.
Combat.
corner, wearing the Airline shirt, he is the challenger. And he is Treehouse Lee. And this man sitting right next to me, he is one of the top young up-and-coming stars of independent professional wrestling. He is the Fest champion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sabbagh Sabbagh. Since it's a title match, we're going to extend the title match. This was now going to be 30-minute title match. Your referee is Max Recon. And again, it is for the Fest Championship. You're welcome.
And he's gone.
Okay, I'm trying, Josh. I'm trying, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Combat Entertainment. I am Danny Danger. With me, as always, Mika Villas. We are Wrestling Scooters commentary team, and at Combat Entertainment, this is the first and last time a wrestling championship will be defended here, as the Fest Wrestling Championship is on the line. Sabbagh Sabbagh defending against Treehouse Lee, both making their first time appearances here in Atlanta.
Inside the Combat Entertainment ring, we are having the Fest Wrestling Championship on the line. Sabbagh is the champion right now. He is in control of Treehouse Lee. Both of these gentlemen, up-and-comers on the independent pro wrestling circuit. They are known for their athleticism, and right now, this headlocks are the name of the game here, and counter wrestling holds.
I mean, they're trading wrestling holds back and forth. Sabbagh Sabbagh, the Fest Wrestling Championship. I mean, that championship is out of Gainesville, Florida, and there's only been a handful of champions, including Heidi Lovelace, including Sue Young. I mean, some people that we've seen here in Atlanta before. Many times, Effie is a former champion.
That's correct. We've also had Effie, who was a former Fest Wrestling champion here in Atlanta. So we've continued our tradition of bringing you the best professional wrestlers in the world here in Atlanta. Sabbagh is no exception to this rule. He is crazy athletic. I've seen him personally several places, but it is absolutely wonderful to see him here in Combat Entertainment and to watch him against Treehouse Lee, who I've heard a lot about, and getting to see him live here. Okay, so here's the big catch. Now, Uno, Blacklist Uno, the supreme leader, please, the whole
said that he, did not want wrestling championships defended in Combat Entertainment. Now, this is Combat preseason, so he made the exception, but this match is under Combat rules. It is for the Fest Championship, but it is under rules that are not normally in Fest. Fest is very relaxed on their rules. You see a lot of weapons used, a lot of outside brawling and interference perhaps, but that will not happen here in Combat Entertainment. Max Recon,
senior referee here,
senior referee at Combat Entertainment, understands the rules of combat and will strictly enforce them here in this match.
So that brings the question, will the combatants, these two combatants are again used to professional wrestling. They're not used to combat and the rules here. Will they be able to do?
Whoa! And that's a double back there.
Will they be able to?
Both men are quick.
Wow.
Wow, he came in. His scissor takes them up and over. Wow, I mean, both of these men are quick in the center of that ring.
They are definitely quick, athletic, agile. Check out Treehouse. Fancy footwork there.
The Rad Boy Ballerina dancing around there. Delivering the hard strikes with the leg lariat.
Gosh.
Wow, I mean, he's not going for the cover.
There's a cover now.
He took a couple extra seconds to kind of soak in the adulation of the crowd.
He took too long there. Perhaps he, just a second quicker, he might have just picked up the Fest Wrestling Championship there.
Well, I mean, Treehouse is looking now. I mean, he looks like he might want to fly on the outside,
the ring, climbing up.
I mean, both of these men making their debuts here in Atlanta. I mean, the fans don't really know what to expect from either man, but
they don't. But they are pleased so far. If you listen to this crowd and you watch, that,
I mean,
again,
he hit him right in the ropes. Max Recon there to check on it.
Treehouse took a little too long climb to the top rope there. Saeed able to make him pay, get him down the hard way, and go into a cover
He's
here.
going right to the cover.
Saeed trying to retain that Fest Wrestling Championship. You definitely, as a champion, when you go from town to town, from place to place, defending your championship, you have to be aware that all challengers from all over will step up and try to take that Fest Championship. Fest is, whoa.
Whoa, pop back up on that suplex.
Fest is known in Florida and being known throughout the Southeast here.
Saeed wanted to defend this championship everywhere that he went. He made the open challenge just the other day on social media. And I mean, Blacklist Uno had said no wrestling titles will be defended here, but in Combat Preseason, he has made the exception.
Max Recon coming in here trying to,
wow! Right on his head with that corkscrew.
Wow, I think the ref called an infraction on that, though.
I mean, he was choked. He was stepping right on his throat to hold him down. He's called one infraction on Saeed Al-Sabbagh, the champion. I mean, he gets 3 of those, and it is a disqualification. Now, I don't think that the championship would change hands on a disqualification, but Saeed Al-Sabbagh does not want to lose. He does not want to be a champion who loses.
Not at all, not at all. He wants to defend this title. Saeed is, he calls himself the child of the 8th day. He is all about respect and honor. He does want to defend this championship the right way to make his opponent submit or pin him.
He wants to use professional wrestling as a platform for his own social message, as you know, I mean, freedom for all people and justice for all. I mean, he that is his chosen method of explaining himself, and his platform is using his athleticism to showcase himself and speak his message. But his athleticism is
on display here.
None. Second to none.
How fast, how quick.
I mean, he is coming quick. I mean, there is a hard 10 count on the outside.
That splash, that rolling splash for a cover.
Yeah. I mean, he's shot from the floor to a roll to a splash.
Just a 2 count.
Insane agility by the champion. But it only leads to a 2 count. But combat rules state a very, very hard 10 count on the outside. As soon as somebody rolls to the outside, you are out of bounds. 10 count, and you can be disqualified and lose this match.
Right now, Saeed in control of Treehouse Lee. He's got him down. He's got his grounded. Treehouse, of course, quick and sudden. But Saeed has just been a step ahead so far.
I mean, Saeed has been dominating the last few minutes of this matchup, as Treehouse Lee has been unable to answer a lot of the athleticism of Saeed.
Whoa.
Treehouse turns around with a lariat there, clothesline, takes him down, but he's not able to make the cover. I think a lot has been taken out of Treehouse.
But that move, his whole body is spinning like a top through the air, landing that lariat, just knocking Saeed down, leveling him here tonight.
But he's not able to make the cover, and Saeed is working his way back to his feet before Treehouse can. Treehouse is trying to get the crowd behind him to feed off their energy, but Saeed just that much quicker.
Treehouse there, out-quicking Saeed this time. Drop salt right in the face, those
Big
toes.
With the reality synthesizer, as he calls that, the drop kick into the backflip.
Gosh.
But Saeed has caught him and slowed him down with some hard strikes.
Saeed is the bigger opponent in this case, but Treehouse.
There's a reversal. Saeed to the outside now. Recon gonna talk to Treehouse about throwing his opponent to the outside.
Watch out, they're on the move here. Are you serious? Whoa!
There's a Fosbury flop. Treehouse looked to hit hard.
God.
I mean, Treehouse, he did the backflip and he hit Saeed Al-Sabbagh, but he seemed to hit hard on his own self. Recon checking on both men, now going to the count. 10 count, and this match will be over. Wow, Treehouse hit his head hard, and he is busted open.
God, he's busted open here.
Saeed covers, goes into it.
Whoa.
But Treehouse still
Good
able to kick
God.
up.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Treehouse busted open here. That floor,
wow.
unforgiven,
I mean,
just concrete. I
he
thought it was over.
He did take Saeed down, but he landed on his own head. I mean, Treehouse is barely in this fight.
Oh,
He's backed in the corner there.
Wait, whoa, wait a minute.
Oh, I mean, if the ref didn't see it, it might not be an infraction.
The ref didn't see it.
There's a big snap, neckbreaker.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and still best champion, Sabbagh.
Wow, Treehouse lead. That kid's got it. Don't you agree?
I mean,
am I the only person who thinks he's got it?
That was.
I mean, he almost ended his life here. I mean, he went, okay, now, I mean, within combat rules, we try to restrict outside, brawling and diving and these kind of things. Treehouse Lee realized the gravity of the situation he was in, trying to earn his spot, did a dive to the outside, landed on his head. I mean, there's blood stained on the floor.
He will go down in history as the first man that shed blood. Did I not promise you people blood? Did I not promise you conflict? He will go down in history as the first man to lay his life down for me, to lay his life down for the company. He is the first man in combat entertainment history that shed blood for this beautiful sport.
Well, Treehouse is in. You decided. You get the fans vote.
He gave a blood sacrifice.
But we're gonna speed this up a little bit. We've showed two great matches in combat preseason. Now let's run this down. Matt Kinway of Dayway in combat.
Hashtag Dayway has a representative in Matt Kinway. Kinway is young. He's hungry. He's come here and he's put on a performance in and out of the ring.
He's a bum just like his leader.
But he's in the tournament.
If you feel he's
You sent the invite.
You sent him an invite.
Conflict breeds greatness.
Okay.
I may hate him, but I don't hate the money that he potentially could generate for me. Don't be a dumbass.
Speaking of combat, two guys that have went to war in our previous incarnation, they're in combat. Montana Black and Calvin Tankman are in combat.
I mean, two super heavyweights. I mean, golly, outstanding, powerful men, both here in combat. I mean, I honestly kind of fear whoever
Montana's
faces
a
them in
monster.
black.
He is a monster. He's about 600 feet tall. The guy's 300 pounds. He hits hard and has no remorse. These other guys better watch out for Montana Black.
But let's talk about Tankman. The guy flies like a cruiserweight, and he's over 300 pounds, and he's a former IWA Mid-South champion. I know this wrestling, but it's still an honor.
And
Still,
you gotta give him his props as a world champion.
That's true. Moving right along, we just announced those two. We're going to go ahead and say it. He's best for business. He's all business. He's Hunter Law. He's in combat.
Well, I mean, Hunter Law is. He won at AWE, Show of the Year 5, the series finale of AWE, pinning Chris Crunk. I mean, some would say it is under, nefarious means. I mean, he did kind of hook the road, but the referee didn't see it. It happened. He won against Chris Crunk. And under the combat preseason, he was also picked up the victory. He calls himself the all-around best. We'll see if he can continue to call himself that.
The absolute best.
The absolute best, under combat rules.
Someone else that you can say is one of the best. He's on the radar. Might be seeing him in Orlando sooner than later. Bishop King will be in combat. And let's rewind. Let's go back to season 1 of Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. You had a little conflict with old
One of
King.
the only dudes that took me to the limit and beat me.
And he beat you. And how did he beat you?
Was it with a cutter?
He beat you with some brass knuckles,
Oh, yeah.
which would be an infraction under combat rules.
It would be an
He bested
infraction.
me in my own game. So.
It would be an infraction, but not an immediate disqualification. I mean, that's the difference between combat.
Don't you like that? I'll give you 3 chances to do what you gotta do.
You can pull the hair, you can hit the groin, you can use weapons, but you only have 3 chances. I mean, but you can utilize these. I think that's something
It's like a lifeline for that millionaire shit.
Oh, wow.
That's a good
In the middle of the match, you gotta call your friend the foot, the brass knuckle.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. So, I mean, some of these, I mean, as people, the combatants become more and more familiar with the combat rules, you can see a lot of people trying to bend, not necessarily break them because they could lose, but they could, bend these rules to their advantage.
Well, speaking of Bishop King, at Show of the Year 5 in AWE, he did face a member of the Hierarchy. And that man is going to be in combat. Adrian Armour, the Armor of the Hierarchy in combat. You already, we already know what you're going to say. You love this kid.
I mean, this isn't much of a surprise, I mean, honestly. I mean, Adrian Armour, I mean, given his history within Atlanta, I mean, he has an, astounding win-loss record. I mean, astounding win-loss record. But also being an extremely close personal friend and protege of our supreme leader, it's kind of no surprise that Armour's in the combat.
But there's 23 other guys who are going to be gunning at the Armor of the Hierarchy. Are you not worried?
I got faith in my boy. I got faith in my squad. If it wasn't for my squad, would we be here today having this conversation?
Speaking of some of your proteges, I got 2 proteges of yours that I'm about to announce. You ready for this one? Impact Wrestling star Caleb Conley and Hit for Hire Bobby Moore will be in combat.
I tried them at the same time.
I remember it.
I mean, this is 2 former proteges, trainees of our supreme leader, now being welcomed back into combat entertainment. Both men provide very, very different, taking different paths.
How many people I got?
That's it.
It's a pretty big tree.
I mean, it really is.
And here's one that I haven't mentioned yet. Another one of your proteges, and we know that you and him have a lot of history now. He represents Dayway. That is Chip Day. He is in combat.
I mean, understanding.
No comment about
the
that.
history.
I mean, he's talking.
I mean, understanding the history you guys have. I mean, it's a little surprising that you would include.
It's just
Chip
like
Day.
this.
I mean,
you got family, right? You got an uncle that you probably don't like, but you show up to the family reunion. Your grandma and all them still invited. It goes back to Matt Kenway. Why not have Chip Day's a shit starter? Don't you want shit started? He knows this place. He's not gonna come and get my
Advantage, someone that I personally am cheering for this tournament. I think he's awesome. CV Suave, he's in combat. Thank you for that one. Please,
we appreciate it.
Thank you for that one. He's awesome.
I mean,
hey, I'm here to please.
He's
good.
good.
Listen, CV Suave is a top-notch competitor. He's done a whole lot. I mean, we talked about it during combat preseason and his matchups. I mean, he understands the game of professional wrestling and how that applies to combat. I think is something that he's learning.
Y'all remember that time he 8-miled himself and he threw up his mom's spaghetti?
Well, I mean, that was. But he's rebounded.
He has rebounded,
very well
and the
from
crowd's
that.
starting to receptive, and he's playing with the rules.
Mom's
Which is going to be interesting because here's one that you got to think about. You put Mike Marshall, you send him an invite. Marshall rules, combat rules, do they coexist?
I mean, they're.
Yeah.
I've had some conversations with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he have a cell phone or is it like an old rotary or something?
Nah, dude, see, I had to
He likes
actually.
the old rules, right?
He's got a cell phone. I saw it on YouTube.
Is it a flip phone?
No, it's a cell phone. He was filming the press conference.
He still don't know how to use it.
Okay.
He sent that video to MySpace.
He
account.
wants to play under Watts rules. Will he
See,
play
and I
under
talked to him
combat
about it.
rules?
I said, as a gracious supreme leader, you came to me and you said that you would like to bring your style and mix it with ours. So anytime you see QT Marshall with the rules of combat, we're gonna sprinkle in a little bit of the Watts rules.
Really?
Because in this new age, you gotta have all the hashtags.
So
So hashtag Watts rules, hashtag combat.
Any match that Michael Marshall competes in will be a hybrid between Watts rules and combat rules?
Apparently.
Did you almost spit when you said
Hybrid.
It was such a distressing thought. Like.
Well, we're about to get into this. This one is interesting. I thought he was very impressive in his match against Chris Crunk at Combat President, and you put him in. Selena Del Renzo's very own Ricky Martinez. I see it.
Wow.
Man.
So a favor got him in? is what Chris Kronk said that the reason Ricky is here is because Selena played?
Chris Kronk don't know half the time what he's doing. So if y'all gonna listen to him and not me, then you do that. And when you look like a dummy in the morning, look,
You said favor.
let's just be real. I got kids everywhere.
Now,
Della
moving right
Renta's,
along.
no, you shut
Oh,
your mouth.
okay.
Della Renta's one. She asked for a hookup. She wanted to bring one of her talents in. I got her. Aria Blake wanted to hook up. How the hell you think Hunter Law's here? Let's just be real. I give back to those who give to me.
Well, speaking of which, you gave an opportunity to a member of Dayway. Gets Bundles will be in combat.
Gets more bundles, another Dayway member. You're really stirring the pot because eventually, possibly, Dayway could implode.
Oh, so that's what.
Hey, cut. We're back. Stop putting my
I'm
stuff out in the street. Rule number 1. Stop being a snitch.
Heard.
You dig?
No more dry snitching. We're
Y'all
not-
out here, man.
Okay. We mentioned all these. We've not mentioned this one. It's a
Close
very
your
big
damn face.
dark horse in this tournament. Someone that I'm very excited about in this tournament. AJ Gray.
Wow.
New Jack and Tuco, Scorpio, man, kid, and here we are today.
What a combo!
I mean, AJ
What a
Gray, I don't
combo.
even know if we've seen him in.
He
I
is
don't-
not. He's been at Atlanta Reserve one time
In the early
for
days.
show of the year 4 in a scramble match.
in a scramble, but that is all
But
that we've
man,
seen.
that's a big get right there. I got to applaud you for that
Man,
one.
come on, man. I'm connected up
I
in
mean,
this
you
bitch.
are.
He's
I
a young
know
man.
people.
And
He's a
speaking
young
of
man who's
connections.
making waves in the southeast.
Ooh,
And-
this next connection, this is a big one. This is a big get. I thought he got a contract. Shane Swerve Strickland
What?
is in combat.
Are you
I mean,
serious?
I mean,
Swerve.
I mean,
Strickland.
I thought
He's
he
in
had
combat.
contracts. I didn't think he would be
I think it's
available.
fine.
I didn't
How
think
did
he'd
you
be
pull this
available
off?
for the season.
I will say it again. I am your supreme leader, and I make things do what it do.
I mean, that means we will see Strickland. You know, I mean, he was. We saw him quite a lot in the, in season 2 and season
You
3
beat
of
your
AWE.
pants just now, didn't you?
Yeah,
I mean,
he did.
well, let's
Just a little
be
bit.
a
Oh,
little
you're
careful.
talking to him.
I mean,
Oh,
it's,
you see
but,
dry snitching. I thought we cleared this up.
Yeah,
I mean, it's-
here's another huge get for us, the Big Hurt of Combat. He is the first man to record a knockout in combat. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big Hurt, DeAndre Jackson, will be in combat. Was the knockout over Siler?
Bruh.
Did it?
When he quit Rampage Jackson like that, oh my goodness.
I mean, just
I was looking at Adrian Norman and I was just like, damn, you remember when you used to tag with that dude?
Oh.
He just got his brains
But
punched
he's
out
a
of his
lethal
head.
weapon, right?
Not
I
anymore.
mean-
He's a neutered weapon.
Oh.
I mean, DeAndre Jackson.
Hey, another one of them Dayway boys coming at you. You know what? I did hear this, and we'll break it right here. His name ain't signed across no more.
Well, I shouldn't
One
be
of my people told me the chick changed his name.
To what?
Big Zan.
Big Zan.
What?
Big Zan.
What did he say? He's a hard pill to swallow or something.
Well, there might be some pills involved in Big Zan. I don't think it's just.
Ibuprofen.
So he is also a member of Combat Season. The Big Zan.
Big Zan is not on my list.
He's like
Neither is Lamar Diggs.
they're his. Everybody has to have assistants and things
That's
to
true.
handle things. You know what I'm saying? So like, I see where Chip's going with his whole.
Now, I am surprised with this one. This one is on my list that I'm shocked by. Ashton Starr is on the list.
You can't deny Mythical Beast. That dude, to quote a dude that I respect with all my heart, Sugar D, he is a majestic being. And by him not being in a combat entertainment ring, I think would be denying you, and even you, a disservice of seeing something magical happening when he performs.
Well, I've only got 2 names left. And before I get to those 2 names, I got to ask. There's no Kerry Awful. There's no Trip Cassidy. There's no Nick Iggy. There's no Owen Knight.
All people I hate.
And there's no Slade Porter. That's what I was about to get to. So you literally politically chose this list and didn't put in the 5 guys you hate the most.
Some guys now feel what it's like to be what I call Kaepernick.
Oh, God.
Speaking of Kaepernick, you did not put Owen Knight in this tournament at all. I mean, like, seriously.
I mean, if you
Sugar D called you out for that years ago.
If I respect Sugar D.
That's true.
And
You
I
do now.
respect the things that he said. But
So no respect for O Knight?
Wow.
why should I?
5.
He likes Lil Wayne.
That's a good point.
Wait a minute.
I'm
No.
okay with
Hey,
What is that play?
The combat
It plays a
Owen
lot
has
into it.
been
It plays a lot into it.
in this ring, in front of these fans, doing things day in and day out.
you
But
really
you know
want to know
what?
what's up? You really
Years.
no.
Go
You
ahead,
really
say it.
want to?
You
I'll
say
tell
years.
you right now. I am the king of petty.
Say it.
And how can I have someone in a tournament to be a man when you lost to William Huckabee?
I was thinking it had to do with being a part of a new era, but
No.
maybe that's just me.
He lost to William Huckabee.
Okay, good point.
That's
Okay,
like
we got 2
multi-winner.
spots left, and I'm just going to throw this one out there. The Mile High Magnum, Ring of Honor, Future of Honor star, will be in combat. Dak Draper finally is coming to Georgia.
Referred by a great man, Cornell Douglas.
That is true.
He
Wow.
hit me on the hip. He was like, my dude. My
Cornell
dude.
Douglas hit you?
Yeah, I know you're a businessman, and I got big business for you. Remember that he was like, I've never had a problem with this dude. When I was in the NWL, this is Cornell speaking now.
I know.
When I was in the NWL, I never had a problem with him. He never crossed me. So now that he's, looking for work, I thought I might throw him, black people look out for each other, man. Black-owned businesses, look out.
Wait, Dak Draper, isn't he a white guy?
Cornell.
Oh, Cornell. Okay.
He's a black-owned
You're
business.
confused too. Okay.
Supporting
Yeah.
my business.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the NWL, might have been gambled away. We don't know for sure.
I wish I could.
But Dak Draper did continue on. He is now residing in Baltimore, Maryland, and he is a Future of Honor star, and now he will be in combat. And the final spot, I was shocked by this one. I really did not think you'd put this guy in, knowing your personal history of this guy.
It's Kobe Bryant.
No, it's not. It's Eddie Kingston.
Oh,
Oh.
I must have
That's-
been
I
drunk
mean-
when I put that one.
Oh.
in.
I mean, Kingston is an outstanding competitor. I mean,
Oh, Eddie Kingston's like the best in the world.
I mean, he's. I
Next
mean, we
to
saw
Joe.
him just.
I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
Well, with that being said, there's our 24. So I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna randomly generate the divisions and so forth and so on.
Hold on.
I mean, we have 4 blocks, correct? I mean, that's
There will be 6 blocks of
6
4
blocks
guys.
of 4 guys each.
24 guys. 6 times 4 is 24 for those you
The new math.
common core math.
Yes.
And
I mean,
wait. Okay, he's already doing something.
does he have?
I'm watching Attack on Titan.
Okay. So anyway, to break it down, they will be divided into 6 groups of 4. Those groups will then have a round robin competition plus a 4-way. A win is 2 points. A loss is -1 point. A draw is 0. And if you win the 4-way, you get 5 points. You take the pin or submission in the 4-way, and you get -3. There's your scores.
Okay.
Hold up. Murder One has just sent me a text message. Okay, interesting. So here you go. Are we ready for Group A?
Randomly generated.
Randomly generated the mind
apparently.
of Murder One. Blacklist Uno, sorry. We will have Treehouse Lee. We will have Joe Black. We will have Bobby Moore. And we will have Calvin Tankman.
Wow.
Golly, I mean, that's.
Now think of
That's a
this.
very heavy
You're
line.
now guaranteed to see Treehouse Lee versus Calvin Tankman. You're now guaranteed to see Joe Black versus all those MFers.
Golly.
You are now guaranteed to see Calvin Tankman versus Bobby Moore.
That,
Good job on that one, my friend.
Don't touch me.
Sorry, I'm excited about that group. Group B.
Group B.
You ready for this one?
B block, let's go.
Saeed El Sabbagh, William Huckabee, Hierarchy's own Adrian Armour, and Eddie Kingston. Group B.
Oh.
We are now guaranteed to get Huckabee versus Eddie Kingston.
You want to talk about hard hitting? Jeez.
I mean, Al
B stands
Sabbagh.
for beat down.
Oh,
Possibility
it
of Al
gets better.
Sabbagh versus Armor. I mean,
Group
golly.
C, Chip Day, Hunter Law, Ashton Starr, and Swerve Strickland. We will finally get to see the rubber match between Chip Day and Shane Strickland.
Those who doubt me, I know what I'm
Wow.
I
doing.
mean, years in the making is
Years.
this rubber match.
I
years.
know what
I
I'm
mean,
doing.
back in the old quad days of Atlanta Wrestling
Yeah,
Entertainment.
wow.
I know what I'm doing.
Here we go. Group D, DeAndre Jackson, Caleb Conley, Ricky Martinez, and Matt Kenway.
I mean, it's a lot of interesting personalities within Group D.
Notice
Lot
how setting up
of
certain people to
different-
get their ass beat.
I was
Group
gonna say.
E, Montana Black,
Oh,
AJ Gray, CB Swab, and Chris Kronk.
God.
There's a lot of history in that group.
I mean, I don't know
CB and
if
Kronk.
I don't know if Montana's just gonna eat all three of those guys and shit them out. Like,
But I mean, seriously, AJ Gray and Montana Black. What
I
a
mean,
bad that
those
could
two.
be.
I mean,
Just-
and you get Suave versus Crunk. I mean, that's
Trump would get sacrificed to a monster.
And here you go. What about this one? This is the final group. Group F.
yeah.
Mike Marshall gets Bundles, Dak Draper, and Bishop King.
God.
I mean, you don't want to say that that's kind of like the misfit group, but there's a lot. Yet again, there's a lot of different personalities
But the
within that
New
group.
York connection in there, the New York fight that's going to happen between Bundles
I
and
was thinking the same thing.
King. My God.
How does Mike Marshall deal with Dayway?
How does Mike
Under
Marshall...
Watts rules.
Under like, well, it's a Watts
I can
rules.
guarantee
Does
you,
it- does it
I can
Timberland
guarantee you
come
won't
into
throw him
play?
over the top.
Is that an infraction?
Or he's
Is
going
bringing
to
in the
move from the
Timbs
top.
an infraction?
I mean, very interesting thing. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Combat Legend Show. There's your 24 guys, and there's your blocks. I don't care what anyone says. This is a fucking amazing tournament already.
Quote Jeff Jarrett, ain't I great?
I mean, this is an
Good job.
amazing 24 combatants. I mean, set up in a lot of different ways. We can expect a lot of amazing matchups throughout the combat season. I mean, thanks to Blacklist Uno for selecting Supreme
But
Leader.
let's not forget, there's a lot of guys that were not in this tournament that
Well,
can
that's
still earn their way in through combat challenge matches.
That's true. I mean,
and through friendlies.
you talk men, you know, like Slade Porter,
Slade
not being
Porter,
not being
invited.
involved. You
Nick
know?
Iggy, not invited.
I mean,
Kerry
Joe,
Hoffman,
not invited.
Sugar Dunkerton, not included.
That was a random thing. I think it has
I mean,
to do with the fact that he's going to be gone.
I
but who
understand
knows?
that Suge has a lot of international bookings. You know, he's kind of splitting his time between the United States and the United Kingdom.
But still.
But I mean, to have him not be here, I think is a big thing. But you get him, and you get a lot of others. I mean, people we haven't seen in Atlanta, people we've seen maybe in Atlanta
Once or
quite
twice,
some
yeah.
time,
Right.
once or twice, could compete in in matches and try to steal the spot of one of those 24.
I mean, and that's the thing is like showing, picking Shane Strickland, inviting Shane Strickland. That shows you what the Supreme Leader.
I mean, with the
can
strings
look.
he can pull.
His
Yeah.
reach is great.
I mean, we thought Strickland was possibly signed somewhere, but apparently he is available to compete. I mean, we thought
Available for combat.
we thought Caleb Conley might be signed. You know,
Right.
I mean,
There you go.
Conley's been a lot of places, but he will be here for the entirety of the combat season.
This is quite nice. I'm very impressed. I hope the fans are impressed, and I hope they keep checking us out.
I get free agents.
He does.
I do this.
You do. Congratulations.
I'm great.
You are great. And with
The
that being
new
said,
symbol of excellence.
thank you, Mika. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, thank
I'll let you
you.
guys close it up.
I mean, this has been the Combat Entertainment Selection Show. You now know the 24 men who will be in combat season. We look forward to seeing you at all the fights, but you can catch us at ringside, calling the action all combat season long. I'm Danny Danger, Mika Villas. Josh Wheeler and Supreme Leader have now stepped aside, but we will be here all season long, calling the action right here for you.
I'm gonna need a hand getting them out to somebody. Gotta keep this on his head.